Welcome back, everyone. We're on a map called Jules Peaceful Valley map that I'm working on in the Giants editor, and I am Joel, and we're going to get started. As you can see, we've been painting out some areas for fields and different things. We're going to be working on some other things at some point. I'm trying to break it down into different little sections and do a little here and then change it and do something else so it doesn't get just constantly the same thing. So I'm thinking I want something wild and crazy, which I hadn't tried on this one yet too much. I think that we should put a massive hill, a massive field, like a big one, on a big old hill, so that the whole field is literally a hill. But I don't know if that's going to be way too big. I mean, some people like the fields really big. It's going to be pretty big. Like in Goldcrest Valley, number 5, the field 5 was big. It took a long time, which really, compared to now, wouldn't be considered big at all. But then it was. Um, so I'm thinking somehow this area be a massive field or something. Or should I not do that? I gotta think on it. I'm gonna paint it down and just look at it and see what I think. Control R is in Richard to grab this dirt texture, or you can find it in the texture layer list and just click on it. And then I have it on replace, but you can put it on add if you want. And then round or square brush, I'm going to go round. And we're just going to see what we got here. So pretend that goes, and that field is just big old field, son. It's a big old field. Now we can decide on some shapes for it since we've made it so big. We could do something special with some sort of shape or whatever. I don't want to get much bigger than that. Let's try to shape it out a little. Let me go down and look and see where the mountain ends or what it looks like. So see, that's a massive field situation. Could you imagine? When you're driving along, there's your field, and you go down, and you go up, and then you go back down again. I mean, that'd be quite the interesting little field. I just don't know, it's so steep. Would they like that? I don't know. Would it be too steep? I might have to smooth some of this out because you get hung up on it, you know. But I think it's pretty nice. I mean, we could adjust some of the shape to it. Like over here, if we don't like something like that, that's too steep or something. We could curve that right here, right now. We could come on and make this stop when it got to that little crooked valley. Kind of knock this corner off of there and put it into that. And then knock this off a little and check it on that side. That way we're not going down into this crevice here. See? And say that they got their build and they're plowing or whatever they're doing. They should still be able to go right here without getting off into that. Excuse me, but that gets to be a steep issue here. Maybe we curve it here too. Let's make it grass. So we curve this piece like so. And then we dip it in. Curve it this away. So that goes. Let me try to get closer. I'm trying to be careful because how this paint does. Alright, we're going to put it on this and do it like this. It's just not wanting to do right. There we go. And then we can have a little jut out right there. And then we could make this one jut in a little more. Like so. Now let me just get close so we can see the shapes if you're driving along. See, that's the issue right there. I don't like that. Because if you're driving, it just don't make sense right there. I think we need to curve that. And grab this and curve this. And curve it a little more this way. And then we can, right there, that's what I'm looking for. If I can get it to cooperate with me. Alright, let me look at it now. So as you're coming along, you can curve a little, but then you curve and you're still good. You're not off into some gully or nothing. Then you're driving up this piece, and then you get to here, and then you gotta curve some more. Curve some more. We can adjust that and make it all nice and rounded or whatever. It's not that, you know. There we go. Alright. Basically, you're driving along. Remember, I can smooth some of this as needed too. So see, when you turn, that's what you're going to see, a massive field there. So we can fix this piece. Let's back off where we can see the vinyl. Okay, see, we got these nice curves here. Let's get another one. Let's fix this piece. There, that looks a little better. And I need to look at this. Let's look at it and see what we got. Those ain't too bad. I'm not too disappointed with those. We still got room for another field. It's wild. I'm gonna have to look at this one though. So if you're driving here and you come up there, it's gonna feel awkward. I feel like that's gonna let me see. Let me come from this direction so I can see how it feels. So if I'm driving along, going this way, it don't feel bad per se, but I feel like here's a problem. Alrighty, let's get this part going. I think we're gonna move that. I don't like that. I think that we need to take advantage of some of this. So big though. Ugh. Goodness gracious. That's a big field. I mean, if we're putting another field there, but the problem is that the natural flow would come down. So I'm trying to decide how far out to go. Truly didn't want it to be too big. And we technically could fit in another field or something, depending on how much trees we put here. Well, we could sprinkle this whole area with trees if we wanted. Let me think. I still feel like it needs to come down the hill more. So let's grab this. We're going to come down this hill more. And I'm just going to have to get a curve in somewhere else. Maybe here. Something like that. And get that curve in there. And then we'll check this corner. Let's see how that looks. Okay, we were able to come down the hill more. I'll have to fix this piece though. Obviously. Let's fix it. Let's see. Control R, get this fixed. Where it looks like it was meant to do a proper turn there. Let's get this side adjusted slightly. Okay. Get off of there. And maybe that'll look good as a curve. We can put something there like trees or whatever we need to get it to look right. Because it's got to come with the flow here. This is where we're going to run into some issues at. The only thing I can think is we either cut it short or raise it up. I'd hate to have it sloping that far down. Maybe we'll try to smooth it and just see. Get that smoothed out a little bit there. See what happens just with this side. Try to get it looking a little better. Now let's check it. It's not as bad as it was. So if you're coming along, you're still okay. You still go up the hill. I mean, I think we're up a little high here, but I mean, I think you could handle it. I'd have to test this one in game, because we're getting up that hill pretty high. But we could back off on this side a little. I'm trying to see how far do we want that to go. Do we want to curve it? How about we curve it? The field's already pretty big. Control R, how about we curve it and get it down like so. We'll fix that. Let's get it on down the hill. Curve this part. This part comes in and we get a nice curve on it. And this side we might curve. We'll have to look at it because it looks like it's still high up. So depending on how high up you want to go. Not a fan of that really. Gonna have to go look closer at it. See. Okay, that took care of the hill spot to where you can stick with this. We can adjust that a little. Get that a little better. But we could curve it here because that's not up too high. Let's curve it here. This isn't too high right there. We could take that down and curve that a little more. Like so. Come a little closer. Yeah, that's decent. And this one's a little high, so we could knock that one out. Get another curve on it. We're almost there. Let's knock this curve out because it's so high. And give it a regular curve like so. We'll get that one back because it needed a little bit of a curve there. Let me make sure I get my curve going on. Alright, let's go see how that looks. Okay, they're coming along. They can handle that little bit of a hill. And then they got the big steep one, which I don't know that we can do. We may have to shrink that down some. I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait and see. This part, when it comes up the hill, that's a heck of a turn there, but we could do it. We could make that part slip off into there, like so, because they can handle this piece. Let me back this down some so I can get a proper spot on there. Alright, let's back out a little. Try and turn that off. We could fix that right there with this. Make that go a little further down before we come back up like so, or we could grab a little here and even make that be a curve as well, so that we've got a extra curve. We'll see. Some of them don't look right, so we'll have to watch it and see. Alright, let's go look at that. So you're driving along and you say, oh, got a curve here. Then you curve there, then you curve. Let's make one more. Curve here. I think we'll be alright with that. They could come around and then they head off up the hill, which may be too steep right there. We're going to slope this piece a little more to get that situated. Right there, just a little bit. Let me go back down. Maybe we need it to curve around it. Let me see. I mean, the curves look okay for a field. It's okay. I just don't see. I just don't see this piece curving like that. Let me try something. Let's see. Maybe we curve it, and so when they do get here, they start going up the hill. And then it don't feel like they're running into a mess when they first go round. They just run up this hill like so. And we could put a curve there. Give it one more nice curve. Knock this piece off a little. Let me look at it. I mean, I think that's okay if the field's not going to be too big and the top's not going to be too hard to climb. So we'll have to smooth it a little. I'm going to hit this gently and just real quick run around and just barely smooth it, just barely, barely, barely. So that if there's any little spots that's poking up, it'll get smooth. Alright. Alrighty, let's grab this and fix this little piece here. Whoop, I gotta undo that. I accidentally clicked the wrong button. Like so. Alright, let's click it again. There we go. I think we're good on that one. I think everybody else is pretty good. We could do this one just a hair here. Maybe make it jut out a little bit right there. Maybe make this one cut back a little. I'm going a little far, but I can fix it. That's what I was trying to go for. Something like that. Okay. So, like I say, we can grab this and just hit this smooth just a little. You don't want it to go all the way down. And maybe the tractor and all will go right over it. I mean, we'll have to test it in game, obviously. Fix any old bumps that's an issue. Like that could be an issue right there. You just kind of roll this down, smooth it down a little more. Anything where you see a bump that's a problem. But anyway, I think that's what we're going to have for a field, unless it's just too massive and I get in game and I'm like, no way. I'm going to get in there and go crazy and say, ah, too big. So we're going to, that's a house there. There's a house here. We got to find a place to put the house for this one. Well, we're going to have to pull these roads coming some which way over here. So this field could actually have a decent house somewhere here, somewhere out front, potentially. Maybe here. Let me see what it looks like. Something like that, maybe. So let's paint a little spot for some sort of house somewhere over here, just so we get that situated. Just to remember there's going to be some sort of house somewhere. Okay. That's going to give us some sort of house. We're going to have a road. It's either going to curve, and there'll be more fields here, or however we decide to do it. It could curve this way and have an offshoot that way. I don't know. And then I got to look and see about the rest of the trees, because we still got to have trees. There's going to be trees up here. So we're gonna paint this with trees here. So let's go ahead and paint that with the forest ground right here a little bit. We ain't gonna go all the way, and we can take any away that we need. So some of that won't be there. And then there'll be some sort of forest here, just generally speaking. And there'll be other places, obviously it'll change. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Don't want to make the video too long. We'll have to see how that turns out after we test it in game about driving on it. And see how it looks. If we have to, we could always split it into 2 fields if we hate it. But that's going to be a house there. And so on. So those are going to be a forest right there. But as you can see, we're coming along. Some of that those round ones won't be there likely. Let's turn our view a little bit. We'll have to turn them because we're probably not going to have them. That was an example of earlier stuff. Okay. So anyway, we're going to call that an episode. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Please hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bell if you want to receive a notification every time I post a video. Goodbye, everybody.